No, when I'm done, I'm done. I don't.
We had your own AI before we did.
Oh, Sue was right up to.
Okay.
Okay, we're good?
We're good.
All right, well, we will call this regular board meeting of Southwest New Brunswick Service Commission to order. We have a quorum. We are missing St. Andrews and Campobello this evening. Any conflict of interest declarations? Hearing none, I'll look for a motion to adopt the agenda.
I move that we adopt the agenda that's in front of us today.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Question? All those in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Motion carried. The next item is the adoption of the minutes of the board meeting of December the 11th, when those are in the package.
I move adoption.
Moved,
I'll second.
seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Motion carried. Business arising from previous meetings, an update on the community wildfire resiliency plan.
Okay, I am mostly keeping this under business arising so that it will stay current with us and we can keep that going. There hasn't actually been a lot of movement here except for trying to get information to the consultants about all the contacts for all the fire chiefs and stuff, which I've been in contact with your respective CAOs to get that information. But other than that, there isn't really a lot of movement. So I just, like I said, I want to keep that there so don't forget about it.
Sounds good. And that completion date is March 31st?
Yep.
Perfect. Any questions? Under new business, we have airport study survey.
So, in case there's a little bit of confusion around this, right now, with MDSS Airport, I've been working with, CAO St. Stephen and St. Andrews. Because they have probably a bigger interest in the airport than most others. Initially, and then this will grow a little bit later on. So there's a study that we're doing and there's a survey that we put out, and I've contacted again all of your CAOs to help us spread the word on getting that out. This is the initial part of that study to see where the public is on the airport. They have already looked at the airport physically, and they've taken some initial sort of steps in going down this path. And then we hope to get this one done fairly quickly as well before the end of our April meeting anyway, while you are all still here. So that will give us more of a definitive path or a couple of options for the airport. So if we want to consider going forward with a regional asset, if what that's going to take or what that's going to need, then we'll have better information to do that with. So that's what that's about. I just wanted to make sure that people were aware of that's where we are with that. Yeah.
Any questions or comments? Okay, hearing none, we'll move into staff reports. The first up is solid waste.
So solid waste, nothing out of the ordinary there, just ongoing activities. We're gonna be taking a lot of aggregate to get ready for some drainage. And the only other thing really is that we're dealing with circular materials to renew the contract, the 2027 recycling. That'll mean a change to the recycling building itself in order to accommodate what they want to do, which is to have larger trailers that are compacting trailers. So that'll mean an addition on the outside of the building. We can probably move our conveyor that we already have up to that, and so we can dump into a trailer. The other alternative would be to dig a pit or dig something to drive the trailer into. This is probably a better idea. They're going to cover the capital cost. So cost the commission nothing to do that. It'll be a slight change, but what's happening is all of the recycling materials are heading to Nova Scotia to be centralized in one sort plant, a new sort plant that they're building. In order to make the big plant work, they need all the volume from Nova Scotia and New Brunswick. So, and Circular is now working with Nova Scotia on their recycling as well. So, big combined effort. That's really kind of the biggest thing going on solid waste right now. Other than that,
just a quick question. The compacting of the materials,
Does that give them 100% increase or in capacity or?
I don't know the exact numbers, but right now, like if we send a tractor trailer the way we do it, we only get like 13 tons on a trailer, which isn't much, right? This way, it could probably bring it to 40.
Oh, excellent. That'd be even better.
It doesn't matter to us. It's their business. I don't care how much they put on the
Yeah.
trailer, but we're happy to accommodate them because it's a good contract for us. That the partnership has worked out really well with Circular Materials, I must say. They've been good to deal with, and we've had no complaints or issues. So
Good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Do you have a timeline for your renovations? When you expect to, how
well,
long
this,
it's gonna take?
this is for the 2027
Mhm.
deal, so it would be, probably this summer. It wouldn't be a big deal. Really, what they're talking about is cutting out a hole kind of in the building that's not ground level but up higher, and then building kind of a hood over that to shield the trailer from rain. That's really it. We already own a conveyor for the sort station that we have. You just move the sort station out of the way, move the conveyor up to the opening, and
Yep.
run her up. That's the theory anyway at this point. We'd have to get some engineering done first for, obviously, we're not just gonna go up there, start cutting holes, but and they might have different ideas than that, but we'll see.
Looks really bad if we don't have a building permit and don't.
Yeah.
Probably get one of those too.
That put us in trouble.
Any other questions or comments on the solid waste report? Hearing none, we'll move on to local and regional planning.
Okay, so I've got the inspection or the building and inspection report in the package here. And what we've done with most of these things is it's kind of a year-end snapshot. So you can see without going to every single thing here. We are dealing with Grand Manans plan. We are dealing with St. Andrews zoning bylaw. There's some work done in Fundy Shores. For last year, construction value of building permits was 59.3 million. Compared to 24, it was 44.8 million, but it was done on fewer permits. So 295 permits in 2025 compared to 321 in 2024. The value is higher per build. That's partially because of increased cost and increased cost of building. That's also partially because of higher density. So because the dwelling units also were higher in total, even though the building permits were lower. So more multifamily, more buildings like that. Roughly the same kind of subdivision approvals. And yeah, you can see right there, dwelling units approved 131 in 2024 and 154 in 2025. So more dwelling units on less permits means more multifamily. And we launched 156 enforcement files, property enforcement files in 2025. And since we started doing that, we've brought 251 into compliance or had closed one way or the other. The planners met with Southeast RSC. They wanted to review their asset management stuff because this is something we've been talking about a lot lately too, is asset management, regional asset management. It's a bigger deal in Southeast and Moncton right now. So they kind of wanted to see what they're, and so this is something we're going to be looking at this year. Is this something that we should be doing regionally? Because every municipality has a need for this, and maybe there's better ways of doing this. Maybe there's ways of helping out all local governments with some asset management tools that we can kind of implement here on our GIS system that will help either your staff or maybe it's a service we can even, we're not sure what this looks like yet, but it's just something we're starting into. I know that Alex has been talking a lot with all the different managers and CARs about this. I think it would be a big win if we can do this well for all of it, for everybody. Other stuff in the report was PRAC met 11 times. we reappointed 2 members. And we could use another committee member on prior. But we're probably going to advertise for that later. We typically advertise for those. And then try to get some interest that way.
Questions or comments? I have one. Is there any chance we could get a breakdown like you have in the report by community or for our individual communities, just the comparison 24 to 25 for the building permits and
Sure.
those numbers?
Sure,
you
absolutely,
guys?
we can do that, yeah.
I think it would be interesting to see. Well, good.
Also, don't forget, we have the tool online, the map.
Yeah.
So you can go to the new map that's on our website and you can zoom in and out. You can zoom in on Graham and you
Yeah.
can see what was there.
Will it give us the 24 data to compare?
I have to look.
I was gonna say, I knew I could do 25, I just wasn't sure if I could get the comparison piece.
I don't know the answer.
Okay,
Yeah, we'll get the stats anyway.
anyone else? Regional and economic workforce development report.
Okay, so under workforce development, our job openings went back up. They dipped a little bit. But then they've come back up to somewhere around 200 in the region, job openings. We've given HR support to 16 different employers throughout the months. December, January, increasing a little bit. They did another HR training session, the series that we started last fall. The spring regional job fairs for probably late March or early April. The ZIP, Zonal Immigration Partnership feasibility study was completed, shared with RRCC. And the director, there was a summit that they had in Halifax, so she had to go to Halifax for this whole zonal immigration support thing. There's a lot of work behind this one, but I think it should be a really good resource that we have, which is fully funded, which is we should be taking advantage of. So under investment readiness, so we're continuing with the Huntsman Marine Science Center to complete the marketing feasibility study. That'll be due in the spring, and there's going to be an open house to learn more about the development. Your business support, the Southwest Business Summit planning is heavily underway. Tickets going to go on sale. Well, they're on sale now, actually. Arlene Dickinson is the keynote speaker for this year. And there's been a bunch of new sponsors added already for the event. And the in other news, the Southwest Regional Welcome Package is in final edits. I've seen the preview. It's really good. So this is a book form, as well as so when newcomers come to the region, here's a guide to all the resources in the region. It's quite good. So we'll have that pretty soon, I believe. And that's my vote.
Any questions or comments?
No, I have permission to step back two sections back to the landfill.
Yep.
I just want to bring it up. I know I brought it up, but I want to make sure the people out in the public that didn't see our committee meeting is I also attended a circular material meeting. And in that meeting that they're trying to capture the recycling efforts of public areas. And they're looking at how they're going to try to do that because it's not being separated like in parks and, there's certain stuff like public areas. And so they're starting to look at how they're going to implement that and encourage it. So that's something that is upcoming under circular materials, but so I kind of get that out there.
Oh, they've been doing. I was skeptical at first, obviously, and we went in with open eyes, but they've been doing well, and they've been good to work with, and they're looking to increase even more, which is great.
I still like to know where all that money went that we've been paying into that for all those years and not getting the service. I know it was $600 and some thousand a year that was going in that PPP. Every time you buy a cereal box, that adds up, and you never did see it. But Now we're starting to see it.
I don't think it was a specific fund. It was just that that's the potential that was there. So now the brand owners, as they call them,
Well, that's what's paying them.
are paying, and they may have, I don't know if they've increased prices since to compensate. or not.
Yeah, maybe. And the other day, now
Hard
it's
to say.
free. Yeah, no, anyways, thank you for allowing that.
Anything else?
I have one question on the workforce development.
Mhm.
I look at the 200 jobs that are open. And then I read the next line down, they're saying still fewer applicants for the postings that are put out there. Is this an issue of a lack of skill sets that they're looking for and they're not finding? Or is it low income jobs? What is the
I can only speak from my experience as an employer and doing that. I couldn't give you all the details. Charlene would be the one to do that. But I can tell you that for postings that I've made in the last, we haven't had a lot of job postings, but there are just literally fewer applicants. Like normally, used to be, I'd throw out a posting and you just get a stack of applications.
yes?
Not so much anymore. The ones that you get quite often aren't even close to being qualified. They're just, people are shotgun applying for
Okay.
everything that's
Right.
out there. Or I may get inappropriate applications that, these people live halfway around the world. They're not moving here for this job. Or I get a lot of applications where their address is literally, it's in Ontario or Alberta. And I'm looking for somebody that's here for this
Right.
particular job, whatever it is. So there's a lot of reasons, but the actual overall number is just low. So I think the troubles that people are seeing is that, they'll put out a job posting, not really getting anybody, and they might get a couple of applications. They're not getting no applications, but the ones they're getting aren't suitable for.
Okay. I just wanted the thought process behind the question was, is it something that we need to talk to our community colleges about increasing the training in a specific area, or how do we entice people to get the qualifications that these folks need when they put their job postings out? That's where it was coming from.
I literally met about that. I brought it up at today at a Future St. Stephen meeting. Is we got to start getting to the schools, getting the trades, and start talking about that more and encourage more of that. And that is an issue. Not only that, we need to strengthen our trade schools and provide more courses. So we got to start pushing that politically as well.
Good.
But
Good
The
point.
other piece of
is.
that sounds so it's like a population issue as much as anything.
Hiring now is not just putting out an ad. You need to go and recruit. You need to go after them. That time has changed. That's what's changed.
Yeah.
You need to scout or whatever you call it. You got to get out there.
You still got to put your job posting, but
You got to find them.
then you also have to hunt.
Yeah. Yep.
Thank you.
Thank
No,
you.
it's a good topic.
Anyone else? Community development.
Under community development, the monthly subscribers for the newsletter are at 262. They're going to be hoping a virtual lunch and learn starting in January. And it's just to increase some knowledge and resources. And this is mostly about that space of community development. So for folks that are in the NGOs, nonprofits, that's kind of where that's aimed at. They've been working with Willow Center and Senior Resource Center and some other organizations to for the knowledge resource fairs and work on some future fairs on these. So they bring together a bunch of different organizations into one space. And sometimes it's for seniors, sometimes it's for different groups that are targeted. It's typically how it goes. Food security. So Ray's got some funding available for this food coordinator project, but haven't got the project off the ground yet, but that is coming. Working on doing some research into what financial literacy is like in our region. I think financial literacy is probably an important topic and that needs to be addressed. There's it's just, so we want to see where the people are and see what gaps we might be able to assist with. Working together with on some putting together tax clinics and some other things. The tax thing should be easier this year for most people because isn't there supposed to be an automatic tax filing for a lot of?
That's supposed to be coming online. I know we've had to help a few people out in Macadam with their taxes, and we connect them with the CRA, and we get that organized. But there's a new program that is supposed to be coming out for seniors and low income folks that their taxes will be done automatically.
Yes, that's what I thought in certain situations, and mostly like seniors, especially those that have like GIS benefits and things like that. It's just an automatic thing, which should be a whole lot easier for a whole lot of people.
Yeah.
So, Ray's again, this may be an information thing more because I don't think a lot of people know much about it. So it needs to.
Not yet.
It's not communicated well. So under resiliency, we have our typical thing where we flow through money for the regional resilience through us now. That 50,000 that they give for resiliency, and then the community action funding closed on January 16th, just last week. We've got 6 applications. They're food security, financial literacy, access and benefits, sensitization, that word. So we're just waiting for their approval on that. They typically do this to the tune of around 50,000 a year. And we got some support for we got Charlotte Dial-A-Ride's van wrapped. I don't know if you guys have seen it. It looks awesome. So it's out there and it's going to assist with their visibility in the region, but also for recruiting the volunteers, which is something we need to do.
Oh, the Dial-A-Ride. Yeah, no, I saw it.
You saw it?
Yes,
Yeah. It's hard to miss.
yeah, it's a white van. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's all, it's all got markers on it.
Yeah.
Wraps, I guess you call
And he's got minutes included from the committee meeting they had December 4th.
Any questions or comments?
The only addition is that there's also a little report here from Grant Writer. See where that is. It's the 3rd page. So funding approval, they got some funding for Dragonfly Center for Autism. A little bit. His primary focus was the community action grants intake. Got some applications going for that process. So the impact, I wanted him to write up an impact here. So new organizations were 4, there's 12 altogether. There's 6 active projects on the go, and then 9 research and connections. They got 5,000, I guess it was in December, but there's 320 pending in all of the other projects that are coming up. And he's kind of concentrating on the food resiliency, communications, and success tracking. I did have a question for the group here. Was there any desire, need, want for him to contact any municipal grants at this point in time? Or is this something we want to do? Yes?
Yeah, I'd like to have him reach out to Johnny.
Okay.
Yeah, and we can set up a meeting because I'd like to have a
I know he
discussion
did
on some
like a
things.
while ago, but
Yeah.
I just didn't know. Now we're to a new year, right?
Yeah, I think that'd be important.
Yeah,
Has anyone utilized it yet
well,
municipally?
I have
so
not.
I get them to reach out to Linda or to set up something for, yeah, definitely.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think everybody just.
Maybe just reach out to everybody,
All the CEOs. Yeah.
set some time aside to
Would he be comfortable attending a meeting and just do a short presentation, or am I asking, going too far with that?
Oh, probably.
Okay.
Oh, chat room.
Yeah, I don't, at least let everyone know what he's got to offer, and
Just we're into a new year now, and I know
Yeah.
that elections are coming up, but still that your
Yeah.
staff aren't changing, so.
But there could be community members out there that need his assistance that we're not even thinking about right now. Right?
Okay,
Sure.
I'll take that as an action point. I don't have to
Yes.
make a motion here, but take it as an action point to get him in contact with all your staff.
Anything else under community development? Which brings us to tourism. Tourism,
Oh, sorry.
yeah, no problem.
So, it was just 2 days ago, we had a meeting and I introduced, Stephen McDougal to the tourism group, because he's going to be taking over that committee and that way as well. So he had quite a chat with the group, as you can imagine, and he's not a quiet person. And then the biggest bulk of our discussion centered around this event that we have coming up. So March 28th, we're calling it the Southwest Tourism Summit. So we're just piggybacking on the Southwest Business Summit, because one helps the other. But this is going to be targeted to tourism operators in the region, and support businesses for them. So, for instance, if you have a cleaning business, you may have a lot of Airbnbs as your clients, something like that. So it's going to be March 28th. Location is going to be Dominion Hill. There's a ticket price of $25, $50 if they want to have a booth or a display or something like that, if they're a supplier or want to do some more. There's a buffet dinner included. The tentative plan is there's a customer service workshop in the afternoon. So this is aimed at the staff that are forward facing to the public. We haven't finalized all the details on that one yet, but that's the thought. The thought was that brushing up on customer service skills wasn't a bad thing for tourism. And then dinner and networking, and our keynote speaker, I have to reconfirm with him to make sure, but it'll be Mr. Brad Henderson.
Who's that?
Who?
A new kid on the block.
A new kid on the line.
We're also going to
I'm the only one watching this thing.
we're also going to invite some travel media. So those are social media influencers and bloggers, those types of people that Maritimes and Navy, people like that, to this event too. So they'll be able to network with all of the other operators there, I think, just as a connection point. And other than that, we talked about some transportation, possible transportation to and from this event, but also in general. We talked a little bit about Donning Doors. He's still around, so we would like to make better use and support that business as much as we can so that he's successful. So we just talked about ways we might be able to help out with that.
Yeah, so I shared Stephen McDougal's name with a gentleman today on our Future Safety board, just talking about tourism, and like to link them up. Because I explained to him where our views are of keeping people in the county and trying to make 3-day trips out of it instead of just passing through. So kind of spurred that energy up with them. So, and I gave him his name, so it'd be nice to kind of get them all together.
So Stephen is also, I mean, he's just getting going here, and I kind of threw a lot of stuff at him in the first couple of weeks. But he is going to also be creating a monthly newsletter that's based on this meeting, as well as any other activities that we've had, that's going to be distributed to your councils and anybody else that wants it, right? So it's a summary of kind of, for John mostly, but it's but a summary of everything that we've happened during the month, as he's going to get that out there as well. And you'll probably see my councils. He's done a couple of really nice videos now. He did one the other day. It's not quite published yet. I think he's going to publish it tomorrow, but it was about how you can go spend $10 at Repeat Boutique and go cross-country skiing up by Lake Utopia. There's some trails and things up there. So he did that one. So he's doing some things like that as well. Another initiative he's got, you should see the studio that's in the basement right now. So we're going to have coffee at the commission as a regular thing. And this is going to be our staff, as well as it could be you guys, could be other community leaders. Sort of a regular podcast style thing out there. There's all kinds of things in go. He's kind of hard to hold back, but so far so good.
You said he's gonna kind of lead the podcast? Interesting.
I'd like to get him again in contact with our new admin assistant. She does our TikToks and that for
Mhm.
the shores.
Oh, for sure,
To
yeah.
link them up, because I know this year, that's what we're looking at, is transferring. They have our own podcast, our own news station, from a journalism student, or to try to set something up for.
Oh, for sure, yeah, no,
Shores for Southwest New Brunswick, so.
absolutely.
Yeah, to link them up, I think they'd be pretty good together to. Cause she's right into the dock, so.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure he'll drag her to New River Beach. Do something down there.
Yeah, no, she'd be all up for it.
Anything else on tourism? Okay, CEO report.
So we ended up the year, so I kind of did a monthly or a yearly total for where we are. We ended up the year slightly higher than 2024, which is kind of good news. Still lower than what it used to be, but this is a sustainable level for us to deal with without having to add staff or do anything. Like, this is kind of a pretty good level for us. And you can kind of see the steady accumulation of waste. It's not big peaks and valleys here. I think we're fine that way. Planning files is pretty much what we already talked about. This is just my different take of my different graph, different report that I get. And as you know, I track our website statistics because it does, it's going to matter more now in the tourism end of things, even though that's a separate website, there's still going to be some crossover there. But we get pretty good traffic for being who we are. Speaking of website, there's a new one. I have to review it tomorrow. I believe it's complete for us. So the main website, it's been redone by the same guy that did Campbell's. Actually, I really like it. So it gives us a much better back end, a much better document library was the important thing for me because that's an important thing on our website. We're very much an informational website. So, but we also had a planning website which had a whole lot of information about permits and inspections and regulations and all that kind of stuff. So we didn't want to lose that. So we've incorporated that as well. And so that is probably going to go live within the next week or so. It's not a huge departure in design from what we had, because what we had wasn't horrible in terms of navigation or anything like that. It was just the back end. It was just the management of it. So that will be coming out soon. And then we're going to look at some, if I need other stuff to do, he's been very responsive, very good, and quite reasonable in terms of price. So look forward to that, and I'll report on that next month. So my other news, communications coordinator, as you know, he's started. We talked about that one. We started our year-end activities. Saunders Doyle were after us, I think, January 2nd. On this stuff.
Get the auditor scores.
But anyways, nothing out of the ordinary here. And everything's in order. Next year will be slightly different because I will have a new accountant at that point. But so we're hoping to get some crossover between the new accountant and our current one. And I am working with Eastern Charlotte on combining forces for that accountant, because it's the same person now and could be the same person again. And so municipal elections. I was contacted by UMNB, and so I'm probably going to work with Dan Murphy there a little bit to coordinate some events and things like that pre-election and then the orientation that happens afterwards. I did get contacted just yesterday by environment local government as well on the same topic. So they were looking for some information around where we're going to do orientations and what assistance we can. So all of us are going to try to work together to make this election cycle as smooth as we possibly can. I don't know what the outcome of it is, but there's a lot of stuff upcoming. We definitely want to do some pre-election information stuff though, You know, so you want to run for a council, come speak to actual councilors to see what it's really like, or, you know, here's what your expectations are. You want to run for mayor, there's, did you know if you run for mayor, you get this other part-time job as a director of this strange nonprofit? It automatically goes with it. I don't know if most people understand that one, but yeah, so things like that. So we want to get some education out there before election. So I don't know if it'll make any difference, but it doesn't hurt to try.
It wouldn't hurt to try. And one of their biggest concerns is, and the reason they're doing all this work is I mean, it's always good to have new counselors. That they definitely stress that, but they're so concerned with the last two terms involving amalgamation and having a whole clean slate. That can be very concerning, and not just on one municipality here and there. It's like, that's why they're looking at it holistically. If it could be that way the whole way across the province, so to speak. So they are concerned about that momentum, you know, and keeping that momentum going. But it should be interesting. There's a YouTube video that just went out yesterday. It was Brittany Merrifield on municipal leader,
Cross Country Network.
municipal
That one?
world.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pod, and it talks about just similar things I just talked about, and she did an excellent job on that too. Yeah, she's the president of UNLV.
Yeah. You know, Brittany.
From Grand Bay Westfield.
Yeah, so hopefully, I mean, I have no idea what the outcomes of the election are. I don't think anybody does, but guess we'll find out.
We certainly will in May, one way or another. Anything else on the CEO report?
Oh.
Okay, financial summary.
So I usually do this every year in January. These are not final numbers because we haven't finished for their year end. So I do this kind of, let's call it a snapshot. This is a pretty good bet, or pretty close to where we would be. It's just for, you know, we haven't done even some numbers yet if we have to. But it gives you an idea of what we did, compared to the budget. So we budgeted 8.1 million for revenue. We ended up with 8.6, and we budgeted 8,182,000 for expenses, and our actual was 8,109,000. So we were a little under on expenses and a lot over on revenue, and the overage came from tipping fees largely, and everything else was pretty much dead on where we thought it would be.
And did we not expect that tipping fee increase to bring our reserve back up to where we took it away from it, right? That's the whole idea. So it did.
Yep, absolutely. So yeah, we dipped into reserve a little bit this year to get by the compactor.
Yeah.
And so we're talking that back out.
Was just a quick question, I think I know the answer, but was the public safety one, was that from 5,000 to 112?
Oh, yeah,
Was that the
that's the wildfire
wildfire?
resiliency.
Okay, I thought so.
That's the bucket I had to put it in. So
Okay, yeah.
that's why that was
So I
way,
thought I'd ask just to be sure.
and it's offset by some
Okay.
revenue as well. So, but yeah, that one would look wonky if you didn't.
Yeah,
know.
well, I kind of, yeah.
Any other questions on the financial summary?
If you're looking for, I have a much more detailed version of this. This is a breakdown of, a lot more, but if anybody does want that information, I'm happy to send it along.
And who's that? They're in trouble.
Yeah, if we did lose that, that's right.
What's that?
I was just looking at the delta between tipping fees, other, and members. And there's a significance there that if we ever lost that, it would.
Yeah, so other sources, that includes USA, that includes Western Valley, that would include ICI, so commercial as well.
Okay.
So yeah, it's not just one source there. That's a few sources rolled up in. But yeah, it's very said
important.
that the tipping fees that we get from our members is only about 20% of our solid waste residents.
Okay, any other questions on the financial? I think our camera's coming,
Tired.
Is that on?
there it is.
Yeah, he's confused there.
Q&A with public, do we have anything from the public, from our viewing audience?
I do not.
Okay. So,
I'll move the adjourn.
thank you, Mayor Craig, thank you everybody for watching.